Okay, so part 1, graphics object, shader texture, a little cube, no lighting, in the previous scene, just kind of up and down. Graphics object, texture, boop. Just super simple. You take a texture, and you render everything with it. Next one, shader color lit, also super simple. You just take a color and render everything with it. Or render all the different meshes, which in this case is only one mesh on that guy. Or, well, sorry, that comes later. But Dig's app, you can see it's being used. Drawn. Alright, texture lit. Texture lit. Just take a texture, apply it. Very easy. Ta-da! And now the fourth one. This was the guy that got more advanced, and this one actually I ended up debating with some of the other students trying to figure out how to do this exactly. So what work, once you feel better, I want to ask you about who owns, like, who's in charge of setting the texture to context? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Is it supposed to be set here? Or does it get set when the shader is set to context? Or I guess, so, is the shader supposed to set the texture to context, the graphics object, or the DX app? I'm a little fuzzy about who's in charge of it. For now, this is the way I saw David doing it, which seems to work fine, and I kind of like the way it does that. Because it makes this system super easy. You just set it and it automatically goes to context. But I don't like that, because I don't know. Either way, go to DX app. So, prove that everyone works. I don't know what the fuck's going on there with him being down there. You just take an array of textures, apply them to each individual mesh. Array of textures, apply them to each individual mesh. Array of colors, apply them to each individual mesh. This one, once you got the trick, it all kind of just fell into place. And I was playing with actually just actually organizing this now. And I'll be honest, I completely forgot to submit this, so I'm not even going to attempt to get the 2-mesh model in time. I tried to get some of the Legend of Zelda models and some other tree models, but none of them had the second mesh, so they weren't interesting as far as demos, so I'm just going to use the cottage for now, because I need to submit this like now. Setting all the world matrices, and then in the draw, I just go down each shader, and then I render the object related to it. The guy on the left is the starting one of just the basic color. The guy at the bottom is color lit, texture, and texture lit. And there's an orbiting light. You just can't see him, obviously, aside from the actual lighting effects he applies to the top and bottom cottage. And then as far as the further work, this one I'm a little fuzzy on exactly here, because what you can do is just put slots for all your shaders, like put a long list of parameters, kind of like what we do for lighting. But that's not very... Yeah, we can just assign a huge level of parameters, and like each individual graphics object knows how to handle that set of parameters, and like can apply like this texture to this mesh in like a certain order. But that's very hard-coded, so I don't know if that's ideal. And then there's the funny solution of where you where we were talking about in class, where you kind of trick it into allowing you to put more data if you put the 2 array and then just allocate more memory than what it expect. No, that wouldn't work. Never mind. Ignore me. Sorry. That wouldn't work for dynamically swapping out shaders. But, so, I guess suggest just parameterizing it, which will work. And I don't have the second model. I loaded a bunch of models with Azul, but none of them had the second mesh, and those that did were broken. Like, I tried the Legend of Zelda assets, and those either only had one mesh or were this guy's. Master Sword here is very, very broken. Oh, I can't remember. I just had to re-record this a second ago because I got a little confused. I can't remember if I asked this or not. But who's in charge of the texture? In case I haven't said this, I just blanked so hard. Who's in charge of this texture? Is it the shader, the graphics object, or the DX app? Like, who is in charge of setting it to context? I currently have it so the shader is in charge of doing it, but that feels weird. I don't know if the DX app should be doing that, or if the graphics object should be doing that. Yeah, just a quick chat question. I'm done.